To the Michigan City Park Board meeting for March 4th, 2020. If you could please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And Shannon, can you call the roll?
Mr. Latchford?
Here.
Mr. Freeze?
Here.
Ms. Esbar?
Here. Oh, here. That wasn't on. I'm loud enough.
The minutes from our February 19th meeting were presented in our packet prior to the meeting. Hopefully everyone has had a chance to review. If there are no corrections or additions, do we have a motion to approve?
I so move.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
Shannon, any table business tonight? Oh, I'm
No.
sorry. I skipped old business, so forgive me. Jeremy, project updates.
Yes, thank you. And good evening, everyone. Regarding the Old Lighthouse Museum project, I had mentioned in the last meeting that submittals were coming in. We actually have a meeting on site with the engineer and Crumlish and our general contractor, Garrett Construction, this Friday to review those submittals and review them on site specific to the materials and colors and things of that nature. So report back to the board at your next meeting.
Thank you. Now we'll move on if there are any tabled business.
No, sir.
Thank you. New business. The first item tonight would be the Exchange Club request for waiver of rental fees in lieu of volunteer services. Jeremy?
Yes, and the mayor's office, mayor's administrator, Chris Yagelski, had communicated with the Michigan City Exchange Club, being that we are in the kind of a transition period with the new city events coordinator, which is now Johnny Stimley. But prior to Johnny Stimley coming on board, the mayor's office kind of took over some of the main, I guess, issues or kind of direction of the Michigan of our patriotic parade that'll take place this year. And with that, we were looking for people to help us work the parade, because it's not just one person or a group of people. It's an army of people to make sure that a parade goes off without a hitch. That being said, he reached out to the Exchange Club, who every year walks or rides in the parade and usually hands out the small American flags around the parade route prior to. This year, Mr. Yagelski had reached out to them and asked if they wanted to work the parade. And the conversation progressed to, well, we have our annual raffle at the Michigan City Senior Center, where they paid their one-time 50% nonprofit discount for a 501c3, which is $450. That raffle is taking place on April 25th of this year. They are asking now, which they have already paid that. So what they are requesting this evening would be from the Michigan City Park Board is a refund of that $450 in lieu of them working the Michigan City Patriotic Parade. They're looking at 6 to 8 men to help with whatever duties might be there, but that would be from, we get there at 7 a.m. for setup and to begin staging, putting blocks out for the numbers, and then the parade will roughly go with cleanup and everything until roughly about 1 o'clock. So if you look at that and do the math, it's a pretty close equivalent of the $450. So that is their request this evening. And it was brought to us by, not just by the Michigan City Exchange Club, but by the mayor's office as well. And I'd be happy to answer any further questions that the board may have.
Thank you, Jeremy. Any questions?
Jim,
Go ahead.
how close would the equivalent be?
Well, it depends on how much we're paying them, relatively speaking. But 8 individuals, 7 to 11. I mean, it comes out to roughly around $450 if I'm using my wage that I would think we pay. But it just depends on what that going rate is. If we do a minimum wage, we're going to fall short. But if you do roughly $9-10 an hour, you're going to be about spot on to a waiver of that fee, pretty close to an equivalent.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, just a comment. The Exchange Club of Michigan City, which I am a member, as Jeremy said, we were approached by Chris Yagelski about helping out, And we do have 9 men who are going to volunteer their services on the parade day for whatever Chris deems necessary. And they will have official looking shirts on that they are, they help with if we have somebody, heaven forbid, but health issue, any other problems that may arise, and they'll be stationed throughout the parade route. What the Exchange Club does with the money, and this will be another hopefully another $450 we'll be able to add to our treasurer, and what we do at the end of the year, whatever we make, we give out. And this year we have earmarked from the parade, not from the parade, but from our raffle, which a lot of it depends on how many tickets we sell. It's $7,000 to $9,000. We're going to use that for abused children at Dunebrook, handicapped at Paladin, and then the needy Salvation Army will. And we also, there are other things that we do at Exchange Club, Reigns of Life. We have Student of the Month and Student of the Year where we give money to the students in an award. So that's some of the stuff we do, and the raffle is obviously a big fundraiser for us.
Thank you, Mr. Freeze. My only comment is whenever we contemplate a request for a waiver of fees, we try to at least make sure that there's some sort of in-kind service exchange rather than just waiving fees. And I think this probably falls, I do think this falls under that same premise that we've historically used for in-kind services in exchange for fees. Any other comment or question from anyone? What's the pleasure of the board?
I would move that we allow the Exchange Club for their services on the day of the parade to waiver that $450.
I would second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
The next item is a request for revision of our parking sticker operation dates. Judy or
Thank you.
Shannon?
In 2017, the sticker distribution office moved out of City Hall down to North Point Pavilion. At that time, I had to hire an assistant parking supervisor earlier in the year before parking started, just to supervise that operation and to make sure there's not one employee working alone in that facility, which we do not allow in the park system. What I'm asking this year is if the board would allow moving the opening date for the sticker office from April 1st to May 1st, or the first business day in May. This would save around $3,600 in seasonal wages out of our parking staff budget. If we start in May, that gives us a week and a half to get the parking operation set up so that supervisor isn't merely babysitting another employee. They actually have work to do. So I think it's prudent. We're trying to, look at cost savings in all of our budgets across the park system. So I think this would be a smart thing to move that date. I just wanted to offer to the public, I don't believe any disservice will happen to the public because you don't have to pay to get in the park to get your sticker. So it doesn't really matter if you get it in April or May or June or the Friday before Labor Day, for that matter. There's ample opportunities for you to get that. We're also open on Saturdays, May through July. And then we do our annual Sticker Saturday at the Senior Center. That's March 28th. So if you really want to be an early bird, you have that opportunity as well. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Shannon.
Oh, I did want to mention to you, this year we are putting in our new point of sale system, just for the public's knowledge. We will finally be accepting credit cards at our gates.
Credit and debit?
Oh, at the gate.
Debit card as well?
Yes.
Great.
I would also add to Shannon's report and request that I did get an opportunity to run this past Mayor Perry, and he is in favor of the May 1st switch as well as the savings to our budget. So I wanted to make sure the board was aware of that as well.
Fantastic. Any questions for Shannon or Jeremy? So they can get their stickers from 9 to 1 on March 28th at the Senior Center,
8 a.m. to 1 p.m.
8 a.m. to 1. Right, I think that credit card thing too, that's a big deal. And that helps improve, hopefully, the speed at which you can get people through the line, as well as internal controls, and just the fact of having all that cash sitting around.
Absolutely. I would like to mention, though, we will not be taking credit cards at the Sticker Saturday at the Senior Center. We won't be set up for it yet.
Okay, but in the future, we will be able to?
Yes, beginning the 1st of May.
Great. Any questions from anyone? Seeing none, do we have a motion to approve the revised parking sticker operation dates?
I so move that we approve modifying the parking sticker dates, and I'd applaud Shannon and Jeremy for maintaining that consciousness of the budget and finding ways to save money, and this is one of those ways, so gladly move that we approve that.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Any other new business?
No, sir.
All right, we'll move on to report of officers and specifically the superintendent's report. Jeremy?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just a reminder to everyone, seasonal applications are available for all positions within the city, as well as the Michigan City Park Department through the personnel office. You can fill out your application anytime Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. And drop that off in the personnel office. Once that is dropped off in the personnel office and filed, then it is sent to the specific department heads with respect to what position you are applying for. We are hoping to start seeing an increase of those applications coming in. Now that the weather's trying to warm up for us and everyone's thinking, oh, it's spring, summer's right around the corner. But we do need some quality applicants to come in and fill some of our positions. Just following up, I have been posting the flyer of our lifeguard openings on our Facebook page, as well as I've contacted high school swim coaches in the area, athletic directors. One high school swim coach from New Prairie High School. She is actually doing a lifeguard certification course coming up in May, so I'm hoping that maybe she said she'd be happy to pass out that information to those taking her course. So I'm hoping that we're getting the word out and we'll start seeing some applications come in regarding our lifeguarding program. A few events to bring up to the board. Last week, I had my first sit down with new event coordinator Johnny Stimley, and we just wanted to get dates worked out, things he had on in his docket that he wanted to put on for this upcoming year, as well as future years, and to just make sure we understood the process and how everything worked. During that meeting, Mayor Perry stopped in to discuss a few things with us as well. And one of those being a polar plunge. He had an idea to put on a polar plunge here down at Lake Michigan. That's something we did, I think it was like 14 years ago now. Unfortunately, we had a huge shelf ice at the time, and we had to take equipment out there, and it wasn't necessarily the best case scenario. Well, right now, we're obviously in a good spot because we don't have that shelf ice from that standpoint. But the plan for them is to put on a polar plunge for fun this coming Saturday, March 7th at 9 a.m. down in Washington Park. It'll be between Mayor Perry and City Event Coordinator Johnny Stimley. Now, usually we have events, prior approval of these events when they come into the park, but because it was something that they wanted to line it up with the St. Patrick's Day Parade and some of the festivities that were going on downtown on that same day. So I wanted to bring it to the board, bring it to your attention. If we need a formal vote this evening, I've talked with Johnny Stimley on this, and he's working on getting emergency personnel out there, as well as the participants are going to have to sign some type of a city waiver of something like that. So I'm getting him all of that information so that can be provided that day. But if the park board needs to take a formal action and vote on this event, it's a cool event. It's a great event. I'm hoping that in the future years we can grow it, get a charity involved. Something so people, because that's what the majority of your polar plunges that you see, people donate to a charity or a good cause. When I did it 14 years ago, I worked with the Special Olympics on it, and then they didn't have they actually did it, we just were a host site, but then some things ran in and they weren't able to bring it back, and we've never been able to get it back to this point. I think it'd be a great event. I think it'd be a community, a builder within our community, and something that we can look forward to annually. So I think this is just those beginning steps of that. But with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions regarding that specific event.
Thank you, Jeremy. Any questions?
Jeremy, I know it sounds like it's very preliminary, but do you know yet, would it be park staff there kind of bringing the volunteers, making sure that, or the participants, I should say, making sure that those waivers are signed, and all that's done day of or ahead of time?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's going to have to be day of,
Right.
just because I don't know how much advertising is really, or how much information is out there about it. And it was stated in a room on Thursday, last Thursday morning. So, which is fine, but I'll get that to Johnny. Johnny and whoever he is bringing to that event, from his standpoint, from his staffing, volunteers, they would be responsible for that, not park staff. There's nothing on us as from a park staff. It's not like we don't have, our parking operation obviously open yet, so there's no waiver of fees we have to consider. It's just mainly they're using our property to access Lake Michigan for this event.
Okay.
And then with that being stated, I made it clear to Mr. Stimley that emergency personnel need to be, because again, hypothermia can set in real quick.
Right.
If not done accordingly. So we want to make sure that from a safety standpoint, we're good first and foremost. I was worried on Monday. We still had large chunks of ice in the water, and I'm like, someone gonna jump in there and get scraped up, get beat up pretty bad by that ice. But this morning there's no ice, and it's just sand right out into the water. That's only about 20 feet off of our front walk there. So, and again, I think it'd be a great event. I think we can build it collectively as an entire city. And the first steps are having the event this weekend.
Okay. Thank you.
So it probably makes sense. I don't think there's any harm in, maybe through an overabundance of caution, to go ahead and take a vote on it tonight, especially since there's waivers being signed.
Mhm.
So if everyone would agree, do you have a motion to approve the event?
I would move that we allow the city of Michigan City to have their polar plunge this Saturday at, I don't know,
This Saturday, March 7th at 9 a.m.
at 9 a.m. Is there anything else I need to include?
That's it. Just memorializing it in a
Okay.
And I would second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
And thank you as well. And just some other events and things that are coming up around our community. We mentioned before the Community Tree Planting Day to replace the trees that were taken out by NIPSCO. Reminder, that is on Saturday, March 28th at 9 a.m. We will stage in Fetters Alley at the Exchange Club shelter that they put in for us a couple years ago. And then from there, we will go out with workers from NIPSCO, City Forester, and hopefully some other volunteers that we have on hand. And the community can assist us in putting some trees back into Washington Park. And I think it's going to be a great day. Not only that, that day, or that event in the park on March 28th, we also have, which was alluded to earlier, our Sticker Saturday and annual Trash and Treasure Sale. That will be at the Michigan City Senior Center. Same day, Saturday, March 28th from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Moving forward, in our meeting last week with the mayor and event coordinator Johnny Stimley, previously, the police department used to handle, and specifically Mr. Chris Yagelski used to handle, the Easter egg hunt, the annual Easter egg hunt for our community that took place in Fetters Alley. Mr. Stimley is now going to be taking that over, and I'm just waiting on more information. He's worked with Tara and the Senior Center for their help to stuff all the eggs and things like that, but it's still in its beginning stage. I will have more information for you at your next meeting, but again, another event that just in this transition has kind of now reshaped itself, if you will. So I'll bring that to you at your next meeting. Our Washington Park Zoo opens its doors on April 1st at 10 a.m. So we're ready for another season there. I was just touring the zoo earlier this week. It's shaping up really nice, and we're really excited to get going. Staff is eager as well. I know Mr. Lang is not here this evening, so a reminder that our the annual Zubilee event put on by the Zoo Society is Saturday, April 25th, and this year it is returning to the Michigan City Airport. Tickets are $50 or $100 per person. The $100 per person ticket also gets you a plane ride of some type. Not really sure how I feel about that, so I think I'm going to purchase the $50 one. And then, but again, great food, drink, and entertainment there at the Michigan City Airport for that event, beginning at 5. I think it's 5 to 9 p.m. So always a good time, and it supports the Washington Park Zoo, and what better way to spend an evening in April. I also want to make sure the board is aware. I have been communicating with the counselor at Knapp Elementary School, and I'm going to attend their event on Monday, March 9th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. They are looking for local local workforce, if you will, to come in and speak about their career, how they got there, what they do in their jobs. So there's like 4 different presentations that I'll do throughout that 2-hour span. And basically, my understanding is that I'll be able to basically speak to the entire school. Through those 4 presentations. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's actually where I went to elementary school, so it's kind of neat to go back and speak to those kids. So, and hopefully through that, maybe find a future park and wrecker out there. So I really appreciate that opportunity and them reaching out to me. I want to thank my sister, who is a special education teacher at Knapp Elementary School, for putting me in touch with the counselor and thinking about the park department and getting us involved in that. So with that, no vandalism report this evening. I'd be happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Thank you, Jeremy. Any questions?
Jeremy, the swim coach at New Prairie, is she or has she sent out any information to other schools? And if so, would it, or if not, perhaps you could put it on our website? But I don't know. I know she probably has a limit as to what she would have in her class.
How many she'll take for the
Yeah, but it would be, especially Michigan City, a 25, 30-minute ride down to New Prairie to get certified.
Sure.
For people who are not certified. Because I don't think Michigan City is offering that certification anymore. I know.
Not to my knowledge. The YMCA here might, but I'm not sure what date. At this point in time, the Michigan City High School is not, to my knowledge.
No, they're not.
So I believe it's just the LaPorte County YMCA, whether it's being held at LaPorte and or in Michigan City. But I'm not sure the dates of when they are doing that.
Yeah, it's tough to find a place to get certified, so that might perhaps be another avenue they could go down to New Prairie High School.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. I'll reach back out to her and kind of get that information and display it.
Any other questions? Jeremy, only comment is thank you for participating in that NAP event. It's often, especially with you have a busy schedule, it's often easier to say you have other commitments, but in order to carve out time of your schedule, and on top of that, to prepare a presentation, thank you on behalf of the Park Department. I commend you for that. All right, we'll move on to the liaison reports. Planning Commission, Ms. Esparza.
Yes, the Planning Commission did meet on February 25th. I unfortunately was out of town, so I did miss that meeting. I reviewed the agenda, and there was not anything seemingly applicable to the Park Board. I have not yet received the minutes, but I don't think there was anything pertaining to the Park Board at that meeting.
Thank you. Port Authority, Mr. Freeze.
There was a meeting on Monday, however, there wasn't anything that would affect us. The big thing was the fireboat talking about. So that wouldn't have anything to do with the Park Department.
Thank you, Mr. Freeze, and Mr. Lang is absent, but as the superintendent already reported, I'm sure Mr. Lang would report again that the Jubilee is April 25th.
He was.
We'll move on to the attorney's report tonight. Ms. Nierenberg, anything? Thank you. Any director's reports tonight?
No, sir.
Thank you. Department Finances. Shannon?
Okay, our claims docket dated March 4th of 2020 is in the amount of $57,280.41.
I so move that we would accept or pay that.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Yes, you can't make.
Tonight we actually have 2 payrolls.
I did
Payroll number 4, pay period January 26th of 20 through February 8th of 20 with a pay date of February 14th of 20 in the amount of $42,449.89.
I so move that we make that payment under payroll number 4.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Payroll number 5 pay period is February 9th, 2020 through February 22nd of 20. Pay date of February 28th of 20 in the amount of $42,282.40.
And I so move that we make that payment under payroll number 5.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Under gifts and donations, these are for youth baseball, softball, and t-ball sponsorships. We've received $350 each from General Insurance Services, Marcus Electric, Hanover LLC, DBA Subway, and Little Caesars Pizza, and $700 from Buffalo Wild Wings.
I move that we would accept those donations.
Second?
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. There are no minor transfers, no zoo endowment bills, no Board of Works bills. We do have credit card charges totaling $3,334.11 paid to Pittsburgh Water Cooler Service in the amount of $2,434.95, to Deluxe for water bottles in the amount of $413.21, and to the restaurant store food service gloves for the zoo in the amount of $485.95.
I make a motion that we pay those credit card charges.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
Thank you, Shannon.
You're welcome.
Any comments from the public tonight? Seeing none, any comments from the board? Seeing none, do you have a motion to adjourn?
So move.